ASVAB, Mechanical Comprehension, Exam Questions. Isaac Newton discovered that every particle in the universe is attracted to every other particle. This law is called Newton's law of universal gravitation. In order to increase force with a first-class lever, the fulcrum should be moved toward where the object is moved. When a net force acts on an object, the object will accelerate in the direction of the net force. Mechanical advantage is the advantage gained by the use of in transmitting force. A mechanism. A vehicle travels at a constant speed on the highway. It can be said that the net force acting on the vehicle is zero. Which of the following statements about weight is not true? Weight is totally dependent on mass. The fulcrum is the location that the object is applied to a lever, the pivot point of a lever. A hockey puck slides across frozen ice. The puck will eventually slow to a stop because of sliding frictional force. In order to apply more torque to a bolt, a mechanic could use a longer wrench. All of the following statements about liquids are true except all liquids are good lubricants. The point that the lever pivots on is the fulcrum. The formula for work is W equals Fxd. In a gear train, torque and speed can be described as inversely proportional. Compared to a smaller mass, a larger mass requires force to achieve the same acceleration rate. More. In order to hit a baseball so that the ball has greater velocity, the player must make contact with the ball for a longer period of time. A small pulley drives a large pulley with a belt. Which of the following statements about this arrangement are true? The smaller pulley turns faster. The force required by a person pulling on a rope using a single pulley to lift an object is equal to the weight of the object. The design of a screwdriver is based on which of the following simple machines? Wheel and axle. The work required to lift an object is the same as the change in potential energy of the object. Once sufficient force is applied to a stationary object to overcome static friction, if the same force is maintained, the object will accelerate. This is true because the coefficient of static friction is greater than the coefficient of kinetic friction. Any work that is done to accelerate an object at rest to speed v will be converted into the kinetic energy of that object. This principle is known as the work energy theorem. An increase in force accomplished through mechanical advantage is always accompanied by in distance moved. A decrease. A man pushes against an object at rest, but fails to get it moving. Which of the following must be true about the relationship between the applied force and the force of friction? The applied force is equal to the force of static friction. Efficiency of a machine is determined by how much of the source energy is converted into usable energy. Neglecting friction, the mechanical advantage provided by a block and tackle is equal to The number of pulleys used in the block and tackle. Objects that require more force to get them moving have greater inertia. Work and kinetic energy are both measured in joules. A hockey puck sliding on the ice experiences kinetic friction. A car rolls down a hill. It travels progressively faster because its potential energy is being converted into kinetic energy. Torque is the degree to which a force causes an object to rotate. The work put out by a simple machine can never exceed the work put in. True or false? True. All of the following statements about work are true except it is possible to get more work out of a machine than what is put in. Which of the following is not a true statement about the principles that underlie hydraulics? A liquid can be dramatically compressed in order to increase the amount of force the liquid can transfer. Which of the following statements about energy is not true? The amount of energy in the universe is slowly diminishing. The difference between a wedge and an inclined plane is a wedge is made to move, whereas an inclined plane stays stationary. If a small gear drives a large gear, takes place. Reduction in rotational speed. The force of friction between two surfaces moving past each other does not depend on the speed at which the surfaces are moving past each other. When a ball is thrown into the air, it has its maximum potential energy when its velocity is 0. Which of the answer choices best describes the topics that are included in the area of physics known as mechanics? The laws of motion, energy, and forces. The symbol g, according to Newtonian law, refers to acceleration due to gravity. Which of the following statements about force is not true? Force is a scalar quantity. The advantage gained by the use of a mechanism in transmitting force is known as mechanical advantage. Speed is different from velocity because velocity involves both speed and direction. While attempting to push a heavy box across the floor, the coefficient of static friction is dependent on the nature of the surface the box is resting on.